Good morning. It has been a hot second since I have tried to vlog. I have a very good reason for not vlogging. I have, in the past couple months, filmed things like with the intention of putting together a vlog, and honestly, I have just not had the energy because I am pregnant. I am, as of filming, 18, like almost 18, 19 weeks. I'll be 19 weeks in a couple days. So almost halfway there. But I am pregnant and I have just not had any extra capacity to do anything extra, like in terms of being creative or vlogging or wanting to go out and explore. I just haven't had the energy. When I have gone places, because I've been to Spain for work, I've been to Croatia for my birthday, and then I went to Seattle. Basically, I was supposed to go to a music festival, did not end up going. As sad as I am that I didn't go, it probably ended up being for the better because half the crew caught COVID, and then while I was in Seattle, while the friend group was up in Canada at the festival, I was out of breath, napping, like just probably not a good place for me to be. So basically ate my way through Seattle and had all the things that I've been craving that I just cannot find here, or if I can get here in the UK, it's not satisfying at all because it's not like home. I think that is one of the biggest struggles with being pregnant in a country that is not somewhere that I grew up is I am craving all these foods that aren't the same here. Everything has, it's like, sure, there's chicken soup, but it tastes different than home. Sure, I can go get ramen. I have to go to London. Don't want to get on a train to go to London right now. But also, it's not as good as the ramen in Seattle. So it's just been like a bit of a struggle with food to find things that I'm like, yes, happy to eat. For the most part, that has now passed, and I am eating pretty steadily. But going back to Seattle and just being like, all the things was needed, and was very happy mama. So, but other than that, it's been, I think, of course, I don't know. Every woman's pregnancy journey is different. Mine was, we went to Seattle in April, which I don't even know if I vlogged about because we basically got back, went to an Arsenal game. We were supposed to go to Dublin, and this was like a week later, and I thought it was jet lag, but I was so unbelievably tired, and I was just like, we're not going to Dublin, which is very unusual for me to bail on a trip. Like, the morning of, we were supposed to go, and I bailed completely. So I knew something was up, and that pregnancy test was positive almost immediately, and had a moment of, oh my god, it's happening, and then immediately just descended into terrible fatigue and nausea. Like, so thankful that I have a flexible remote job, because if I had to be going into an office, I can't even imagine. I feel like I would have quit my job. So luckily I have a very, the company I work for is amazing, and as long as I go to my meetings or if I have to cancel those meetings, give a heads up. It's fine. And so I've been able to navigate the first trimester with a lot of understanding from those I was working with. So that was, I couldn't have asked for a better like work support system in terms of just like career. And then now that I am into the second trimester, I'm still really tired. The nausea is mostly gone. I haven't gotten sick. Really, like I know some women can't stop throwing up. I have been lucky that it's only been like a couple times. And some of that has been like food induced, where it's just like something was not right and can't even talk about it. It makes me sick. I will say, like, there are some things that it's weird because I don't feel nauseous, but my reflex feels much more sensitive. So some things I'm just like, I can't talk about, can't look at, can't even think about. So it's been a journey. The last week, even though I was super tired, I feel like I have slowly started to find a little bit of my routine again. So May, June, July, so we're now in August, so it's been like 3 months of not having a routine and just listening to my body, which has mostly been like, you need to sleep. So I'm feeling a little bit more energetic. Tailbone hurts. It doesn't really hurt right now, but some days are worse than others. I love my pregnancy pillow. I do not, like, it has been a lifesaver for me. And on top of that, I have the most supportive husband in the world. So if I need anything, he is out getting it, and he's so excited and has been helping me with some of my more emotional moments, because it is such a big change, and at times it's scary to see how much your body has changed. But we're really excited. I'm not going to say when we're due yet, but end of the year, new year. I know due dates are just like they're not like a set in stone thing, so I know it could be any time leading up to that, or could even go beyond that. So I will say we will be having a low-key Christmas. So not sure. We'll see how things are. I might end up decorating like literally the day after Halloween so that I get the full Christmas cheer, because depending on when baby comes, I'm not gonna want to bother with Christmas decorations. So we'll see. We'll see how things go. But it's been a busy few months. Well, not busy, just like haven't wanted to do anything. I have not gone to bar class. I have not gone to Pilates. I haven't gone down to London. Like, my poor hair. I mean, it is what it is. You're not, at least the guidance from my US stylist was don't bleach your hair in the first trimester. I don't even know if I'm gonna do it at all during the pregnancy. And just let it grow, and then have my stylist in Seattle fix the giant band that I'm sure will be there, because I just don't think bleach in the UK is as strong as what my US stylist uses. Unimportant details, but haven't been down to London except for an Arsenal game at the end of the season. Literally, that was the day before I found out I was pregnant. And then I did manage to go to Spain for our work offsite. Again, having incredibly compassionate coworkers. was essential to navigating that, because I had to just like peace out and bounce from activities or meetings because of the fatigue, and then just like feeling sick and traveling that early and not feeling well and being in a different country food wise was difficult. Also, not being able to eat all the cured meat was heartbreaking. And then by the end of June, like I said, we went to Croatia. We went to Split for like 3 days for my birthday. And that was so nice and chill. We stayed at Hotel Ambassador, which was incredible. Really lovely hotel. Just like hung out on the rooftop, walked around Split a bit. It was really, really hot. I had, I think, 1 or 2 just hunger-related hormone breakdowns because it was so busy and we were wandering around at 9 p.m. trying to find food, and I was just like, I know I want this, but there's a line out the door. And then I was like, I need to eat now. So it was a quick trip, but it was nice, and it was just nice to get away. And I love Croatia, so it was great. And then I got back from Seattle. I spent 2 nights in Arizona. 2 nights in Arizona with my parents, and came back to the UK. And that kicked off a whole conversation with Jay about where we want to be in the future. And he just started a new job, and is doing incredible things. I'm so proud of him. And we're actually thinking about making an international move. Obviously after baby comes, and then I have to be the one to petition for his visa, but we are talking and making plans for this thing to happen by the end of next year. So we're actually really excited about it, and I get more and more excited because we'll have our little one, and the sort of life and things that I envision with our little one, I am excited to like build in that location. I don't want to say where yet, just because I've literally just like started compiling what we need. And I know some people will be like, why would you leave England? Why would you leave Europe? And I think that's an entirely different vlog, but we've had a lot of discussions and pros and cons and where we're at in our career, and I will say that England doesn't feel like the right place for where we are in our careers, in our life. And seeing what is happening politically here, and the cost of living, and so many other things. So, and I think it's difficult. It's a little bit difficult for me too, because I am an immigrant. I have come into this country, and because I'm a US citizen, that actually ends up negatively affecting me in ways. And so it would be more beneficial for Jay and I to move and build up the things that we want to build, and then potentially come back at some point. But I don't know what the future holds. I didn't even think this was going to be a conversation that we were having at all this year, and here we are, and we keep bringing it up, and we're so excited and thinking about it. And I'm like, I'm gonna have a baby in between now and then, and logistically there's a lot to figure out, because we want to keep the UK house. So there's a lot going on, and then we're hopefully starting a big project in the yard. We're going to add a extension or a separate building in the back for like an office space, so we can clear out the upstairs, like both the upstairs rooms, and then turn Jay's office into a nursery. So we certainly like to keep things busy, and it's never a dull moment, but I feel sort of like a new burst of energy and just like excitement about things. So yeah, that's where we are. There's a lot going on. And it's exciting. I finally have my driving test on Friday, like in a couple days. So fingers crossed for that. I did like a lesson with my instructor last week just to go over things, and she was like, I'm pretty confident that you'll be fine. It's about how you react to other people on the road, and as long as you don't like get a serious fault, it should be fine. And when we did our little mock driving test, didn't have a serious fault. So, and I had 3 minor faults. So, I am hoping that I'm sort of like holding my breath and waiting for my test day, because being able to drive without Jay, because my international license validity expired, so even though it's valid, I can't drive on it here anymore, because I am insured as a learner now. So just sort of like anxiously awaiting that day. I booked it for Friday, which in hindsight I was like, yeah, I'll just like give myself the week, and probably should have booked it for Monday. But it is what it is. It'll be here before we know it. I know it. And it'll be fine. I get to take it in the Range Rover, which I'm familiar with. Though I feel like I need to go outside and like sit with it for some of the, they ask a couple questions like show me, tell me. So I need to make sure I know the answers to those. But it should be fine. Again, I've been driving for 20 years, so I'm trying not to be anxious about it. It's just annoying because if you don't pass, then it takes forever to get another test. So that is where we are at. I'm actually feeling pretty decent this morning. So I think I'm gonna go take Vogue for a short loop around the park. There are baby swans. I haven't been doing that much walking. It is a bit of a struggle, and I walked to my dentist appointment this last week and walked back and could not believe how badly my tailbone hurt. So the physical aspect of pregnancy is really it's a struggle. But I'm still here. I'm alive. I know I sort of abandoned the vlog for a bit. And it is my intention to continue because there's lots of exciting things happening. It's just finding the energy to do so. So if you are If you've stuck around, thank you. If you're new here, happy to have you here. And there is so much more to come. I'm so excited. So that is the update. I've been reading a ton of books. Probably not gonna recap all of them in a vlog. I will say I'm like, what, 7 or 8 books from my goal of 40 for the year. I read Throne of Glass, I will say that. Completely tore my heart out. And then I took a little like detour to some historical fiction. I'm reading a nonfiction book right now called A Short History of the World in 50 Lies. And then I am also reading the second Crescent City book, finally. It's just a really long book. So, got those going for me. I did read, I abandoned a couple in July. I don't normally abandon books, but I just could not finish Daughter of No Worlds. I love her other books, but just, I don't know, could not connect with the characters and was just like, nope. And I read 2 out of 3 books of this Egyptian time travel-y type series or trilogy. But I don't know, the writing just wasn't there for me. Like, it just felt a little unpolished and in a way that was sort of like frustrating and felt a little immature. So I decided to not read the 3rd book. We'll see if that changes. It is on Kindle Unlimited, so if I decide to, maybe I will. But by the end of the 2nd book, it was sort of like Clove of the Everflame or that series, where I just had no desire to finish. So I've at least been reading and watching Grey's Anatomy for the first time. So that's about it. Not very exciting. Well, no, lots of exciting things happening, but in terms of what I've been doing around town and England and exploring, not very exciting. That, coupled with the English summer and just horrifically humid heat, has been oppressive. It actually feels like fall. The last 2 days has been quite cool and crisp, and I'm not quite ready for my August to feel like that. I like my end of August to feel like that, but it is making me excited for autumn, and I do have some things planned for where I would like to go this autumn. So that is life in England. That is my update. I will actually work on getting this uploaded because it should be minimal, but hopefully here I will get back into a routine and more things will start to happen around the house. We are getting carpet too, finally, what I'm excited about. And yeah, that's it.